Also, is it not maybe perhaps because, you're hesitant to actually pull the tooth and move on? Is because you feel that you should be more than what you are. Everybody supposedly feel that. And you've created this perfect life because they've told you for you to be complete, you have to have a perfect life. And perfect life is to have a perfect relationship. And perfect relationship means you have to have a perfect person. So you actually, in pursuit of this, created a perfect picture, perfect person out of this person, whatever it is, in your mind, conjured up so much good qualities to this person, totally dedicated yourself to that person, falling in love head over heels for that person in order to create that illusion of perfect life for yourself while you don't have the perfect material to create that perfect life, so to speak. In other words, you conjured up a certain qualities in this person in order to satisfy yourself that you are actually involved with a perfect person to create a perfect life. But it's all an illusion in your head. The danger with that is that you've created this illusion and you made yourself comfortable and psychologically secure and happy, yet for a long time you pretended this or went along with it, and you got used to this illusion to the point that you actually think this is not an illusion, this is actuality, and that person is perfect. And now that you see with your own eyes and feelings it's not working out, you're wondering, how can I get rid of this? Because I created in myself and I now believe it is perfect. You create an illusion in order to meet a certain conditioning, to create a perfect life. You went on along with it, you fall in love with it, which is in fact you really fell in love with your own mind, with your own thoughts, the creation of your own thoughts in your own mind of this person, of this situation. So you're in love with that. It's part of you now. And then now you actually believe it's an actuality. And now you can't get rid of it. Why? Because how could you defy, in order to get rid of it, you got to defy what you created. How could you really defy something that you believe? Look at all the religions in the world that you believe in. It's hard to defy it because you've turned it into a belief. Now you've turned this situation, this person, this relationship to be a belief that is perfect, conjured up in your own mind, the brainchild of your own thoughts. And now in order to abandon it, you have to defy it. How could you defy something that you've come to believe in it as the whatever it is to believe in? So that's another problem that doesn't let you to move on, because now you got to defy yourself. And now you got to admit that you're not lovable because what you created in your mind, and you know it, that it is you who created it, now you got to not love it. You got to admit that it's not lovable. And that could somehow make you feel like you're not lovable because you were the one who created it. In fact, instead, if you simply look at this person for whatever he or she is and stop fooling yourself as having created a role of that person in your picture that you wanted to create for your life, the image that you have created, and admit that this character does not fit this picture, does not fit this role, I got to change the actor in order to make this show go on. Therefore, why don't I simply face the truth, the actuality, see it as it is instead of perceiving it with some conditioning that I've had ever since childhood, that a perfect life should have this kind of a person in it. Therefore, I created that kind of person in my own illusions, in my own thoughts. And now looking at this person, perceiving it, looking at this relationship, perceiving it, not really actually seeing it as what it is. Therefore, I put up with it because I've always been kind of covered in my eyes, not seeing what it is, but having an illusion. It's like having a movie running in front of my eyes rather than seeing the actual relationship that I've created all by myself. So if you see it as what it is, then the fact and the truth will set you free that, look, let's be honest, this is not really reality. I created that. I give all these credits to this person. It's like, you have a student in your classroom, if you're a teacher, or imagine if you are, and you give all the good grades to this person, and when it comes to test time, the person fails, and you say, "Whoa, how come? How come?" Well, because you gave all these grades to this person. So you gave all these grades, all these qualities to this person, but it really doesn't fit for the picture that you're trying to, have the image of the life that you think you should be having. It doesn't fit. So if you see what it is, not perceive it with the past, which is a conditioning that you received, that this is how life should be, and you don't simply look at it by the eye of your fear, but with meeting the present situation with with the past, or with fear of being alone, fear of being isolated, fear of not complying with what you've been conditioned to strive for in life, the kind of a life, being with someone and being a couple, therefore you're part of something, therefore you're counted. Otherwise you think that if it's not, you're not counted by yourself. So go build something out of yourself, make yourself the person who would create your own psychological security. Do not abandon your psychological security to a group or to this person and think that this person is responsible to give me psychological security, and therefore I have to stick with it no matter how bad it is, because I can always sugarcoat it and create a certain kind of a mask, make it look like as if it's good, so I can tolerate it, so I won't lose my psychological security, because then I'm not part of the group if I let it go, let her go or let him go. So become independent of letting somebody else create your psychological security, or a group, or a relationship. See it as it is, not as what you've conjured up in your mind, meeting the present situation with the past according to your conditioning, or hoping that it will be something that it will never be because it doesn't have the credentials in the future, which the future is not here, because now is the only time that is reality. Now is everything. Is the past and is the future. So don't fool yourself in the now. Therefore, you will meet everything with what it is rather than with the past or with the hope of something else to become in the future. Don't hope for what it becomes if it doesn't have the credentials, and don't meet it with kind of an image that you've created in front of your eyes so you won't really see what it is. See it as it is and make a decision that sense, and make sure that you hold yourself responsible for the psychological security that you're pursuing, and at the same time, don't fall for the fact that you should create a certain kind of a life as you have been conditioned to. Instead, build yourself, make yourself understand what it is that you should be, rather than looking for what you can be in somebody else's contribution to a relationship so you feel good about yourself. Therefore, you become independent, and you will not be constantly looking for somebody else to provide all these things for you. Perhaps this would be something for you to ponder and think about. I don't know what else I said in the other one that didn't work. I hope that would be at least something for you to think about and be able to move on with open eyes and understanding why you've been stuck, and you don't have to. Talk to you soon. Oh, you're still here. I think it didn't stop.